Hey, it's Christopher here in Las Vegas at the new Media Expo, and I'm here with Michael from GigaVox. Michael, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me today.
Now, so tell us a little bit about what you guys do, because you're very busy in this space.
Well, currently through GigaVox, we actually produce content and actually host and produce things such as the Disneyland Resort podcast. That's something we've been doing for going on 4 years now. We also work and consult with companies that are looking to get into new media. Usually we're asked to come in and sit at the table as they're going through kind of their planning process and be able to give them kind of rules of the road and advice to help make it as effective as possible, save them money, save them time, and just make sure that it gets launched kind of on the right foot, so to speak. We also produce things like the Podcast Academy. We've got some books out there, so a little bit of everything.
So let's talk about Disney for a moment. One of the largest, most respected brands in the world, as well as one that is very well shepherded. How did you get Disney to jump into something 4 years ago, which was really still as a frontier space?
Well, yeah, when we started producing the Disneyland Resort podcast for their first 50th anniversary celebration, I mean, it actually got some press attention because it was kind of one of the first big companies to kind of step into the space. Luckily, or I guess I was fortunate, I got the call. They called and said, hey, do you want to come next week and spend the week here at the Disneyland Resort and cover this event? And it was something they'd been planning for 3 years, and I think that they realized podcasting was going somewhere. It was kind of getting exciting and hot, and they wanted to make sure that they produced some of that content as well for their guests and kind of fans around the world.
So what's some advice that you would give, especially enterprise companies that are looking, let's say somebody has been tasked with putting together a podcast to help their enterprise? Do you have some, maybe the top 3 things that they should be doing?
Well, I think it's a number of things. You need to manage expectations. So get all of the kind of the stakeholders at the table, meaning if you're going to have kind of some sort of managerial overview on the content, if you're going to have some legal review, you need to make sure that all of those people are at those original planning meetings so you can kind of set up step by step what's actually going to happen. We've seen some corporate podcasts start to get produced and then kind of disappear and never make it out of legal approval or something like that because everybody wasn't tied in at the beginning. The other is, and this is always a good thing, is if people aren't quite sure what they're going to do, produce one for internal consumption only. Find somebody in the company that kind of wants to do it, maybe from just a hobbyist point of view. Let them kind of go around, maybe do the interviews and do just a standalone show that you can then shop around. One of the things that we found is once we had produced our first Disneyland Resort podcast, all the people we were working with at Disneyland started to listen to it and said, hey, that's kind of neat. So it was one thing to sit at a table and explain it. It was another for them to actually hear the sounds and interviews and people. And at that point, I think everybody kind of got excited about the endeavor.
So fast forward 6 months to a year in this industry, what are we going to see?
I think you're going to see more corporate and enterprise production. I mean, this is just one great way to kind of communicate with your constituents, your clients, whether you're a pharmaceutical company or a great entertainment brand like Disney. I think you're going to continue to see kind of the independent or enthusiast podcasters producing their content. And hopefully here we're going to finally see some movement from some of the advertising groups that are trying to get that foothold. And we're starting to see a little bit there, but I'd like the numbers to be much bigger than they are.
Well, thanks for your advice. Thanks for spending some time with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And from Las Vegas at the new Media Expo, we're Relevantly Speaking.